like HRIS, right? Can anyone tell what does HRIS deals with? A little bit of introduction for 2 to 3 minutes. It's always a one-way process. I want you people also to communicate. Mahalakshmi, Samir, Harihar sir, wait sir. Nihal, are you there? It's good to see people being regular. Nihal and all have been regular.
Yes, ma'am.
Mahalakshmi, Samir and all have been regular to classes. Nihal, can you give highlights on HRIS? What did we study in last class? I will share the PPT with you also, beta. Yes. I think I'm sharing my PPT. You're able to view it. Right? Can you tell me what is HRIS? And what are its objectives? Nihal? Or Mahal? Yeah. Nihal, can you answer? What is HRIS concept? Why it is there in organization?
Based on organization, wait, ma'am. Let me, ma'am.
You want to Google it?
No, ma'am.
Ah. Okay, anyhow, I want the answer. You tell me.
No, the importance of HR that it will help to improve the decision making, ma'am, in the organization. It will help the managers what should be taken, what should get rejected, and all.
Okay, what is the full form of HRIS?
System.
Beta?
Information system.
Human resource information system. Okay, right. Can you tell me what would be its benefits by implementing?
I think the information has benefit, I guess so.
The information has benefits. What kind of information? Anybody else would like to answer?
Yes, ma'am. Basically, HRIS is a software system wherein you can, in a single platform, you can upload all your employment or employee-related information, and then it allows easy management, retrieval, and manipulation of the data. As also, it helps you in taking out various metrics and
it's good. It's good to see that you say manipulating the data. Is it really manipulating the data? Can be done. And we call not manipulating the data, as you say that the records of the employees, whoever are there and whoever have left, it's totally maintained in the system, right? In Zamam is coming, right? So it's been maintained in the system, and we call that as a concept which is called as employee profiling, right? Employee profiling is said to be happening through HRIS. See, manually, it's not, it's a quite hectic task maintaining these records. So through system, through technology, in order to take decisions and all, as Nihal said, it's quite easy. So people are joining now, right? Yes, sir, further, continue.
So that's what, ma'am, it allows you to do a lot of metrics and analytics with the data. And ultimately, it aids your decision making. So it is a decision support system, you can say, for all HR related activities.
Okay, one question I would like to ask, sir. Since you said metrics, what kind of metrics can be introduced to this, sir?
Metrics, ma'am, like how long an employee has been there, what kind of qualifications do they have, how many hours of training they have undergone outside, how many within the organization. It depends on what we are looking at. In the longer run, if you want to screen employees for, say, a particular position, your own internal recruitment sourcing, internal source of recruitment, for example, or you have expansion plans. You are opening up an office, say, at a particular place. You want to find out which all people know the local language, for example. So such like things you can draw out from the database. It depends on how extensively you are maintaining the database and what kind of query system has been built into it.
Okay, fine. That's it, sir.
That is all, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So I think I've done my job last class, right? So these concepts of, I think, benefits of HRIS, have we looked into? Benefits have I completed? Mahalakshmi, sir, have I completed the benefits?
I think yes, ma'am. We have done the benefits part.
Okay, fine. So we'll look into the outplacement part, which is the last concept that we are studying under Unit 3. Right, so outplacement is quite simple. Right, it is a service that has been offered by the organizations for their terminated employees, right? Where for due to some reasons they have been ceased to be an employee within the organization for various reasons, right? And they offer these services also. On the other hand, the particular organization itself runs coaching or orientation programs, right? As an ex-employee, they are asked to join those kinds of programs also. See to that get benefited out of the company programs in the company cost, and they can find themselves or the company itself takes steps in recommending these employees, because these employees would plus and minus are pretty well. The expertise, as you said, through HRIS, through various other things also, through performance, right? All these are known are known to the organization. So in such a case, they would recommend jobs that are suitable to these seized employees, right? So that is said to be the service that has been provided, which is called as an outplacement service that has been provided by the organization. Now, the other things would be that the cost for these coaching services, for these services and all, it will be borne by the employer himself, right? Or sometimes they're asked to deposit at least a little bit of amount, because people should realize they should not take it for granted, right? On the other hand, so it becomes a part. So we call that as it will not come under the training cost, but rather it will come under some of the different cost that has been taken under the heading of the organization as the financial part. So this is outplacement. So when you take these, okay, let me complete outplacement, and then I think I can go for HRIS implementation. Right, I think the slides are a little bit juggled. Right, so is there any outplacement programs to name that has been carried out by the organization? So there are organizations like Career Minds or Into USA. Right, these are the examples of companies which offer these kinds of jobs, or companies also have tie up with these kinds of service oriented organizations, right? So the main thing is that they want to bring transition in the service. They should know that where the employees are lacking, because employees should know that why they have been terminated, or why they have been forced to resign. I told you last class itself, if you are laid off, you may not be able to get a job. Excuse me, there is somebody entering. Yes. Yeah. So they may not be allowed to get employment anywhere else. So voluntary. So they'll be asked to resign by themselves. Right. So in such a case, these kinds of programs, I think, would enhance. How far I have not come across no studies I have come across relating to the programs that are happening right in India. The particular organization called as Manpower Group is offering such kinds of outplacement services, right? On the other hand, what would be the benefits, right? The benefits for these kinds of outplacement services would be is that it is a company for existing employees. Say it is one part of brand building, right? And you can also you also can attract talented employees. And second one is this is for the organization point of view. Since it is an employee oriented, this particular services are provided for the say people who have left. They are helping them to get a new job. There is always a back support, okay, from the organization, and that confidence. People generally during these time of pandemic or during the time of crisis management, if they lose their jobs, they'll not be able to know what to do. So in such a case, they could avoid these things, right? So generally, a company enlists outplacement providers. They provide these kinds of services like advices, counseling, career coaching. They may go down, so they should provide morale. They should boost the morale of the seized employees so that they'll be able to get back to the work and improve. Okay, so these are the benefits. Any other benefits you would like to highlight, students?
Basically improves the what would I say, the reputation of the company, ma'am, can be a source of attracting more talent because it creates a reputation that the company really takes care of its staff.
Yes, that's
Either
what
ways.
it's a brand building. It's a brand building and reputation, goodwill. All words. Say you can use different words. Exactly. Right, I agree. Right. So once you are looking into right the last part of HRIS, so HRIS implementation. Now coming back to the class that we completed, the HRIS. These are the simple steps, right, where the HRIS can be completed. Right. So the steps are planning, analysis, design, implementation, and maintenance. Right. So in each part, it's quite simple. The implementation steps is that you should know whether this HRIS would see. Always it is a technological oriented upgradation from time to time, and infrastructure and financial investment is said to be required. So in such a case, the organization should know its SWOT pretty well. What do you mean by SWOT?
Strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats, ma'am.
Yes, fantastic. SWOT is the organization should know its strength, weakness, opportunities, and strength. So they need to strategize properly for it. So strategic management they need to look into. So for that they need to plan. They should do a feasibility study, right, and see to that whether they have proper team members for them. That is, they it is like a knowledge management, right? When we set up knowledge management. Things within an organization. I have seen when I taught that particular subject, they say that it's very, very costly. You need to have technological and technical people for it. So, is it for that also for maintenance? Also, you need to have one people. You cannot send them outside. You cannot do an outplacement work for them, right? You cannot uh, so it's important that you need to look into these steps. So financial part, the organization should be strong enough, right? Say to that you should be able to develop each and every step that we are looking into, analyze, right? Design. So whether if you're buying it or whether you are developing it, right? That you're as a new product where you can patent it and you can sell those services. So how we are going to bring this, right? There are organizations make or buy decision. Okay, so which is better? So that is also there. And if you have a good project team who are technically sound enough, the make part I think would be there. Now we are looking into, no, we are facing the raw material patent problem India is said to be facing, where US is not the raw material thing, they are not ready to give up the rights, the IPR part, right? Intellectual property rights. Further, you can look into the news, right? What am I discussing or what I'm sharing with you, right? And you need to maintain, implement it, whether you have the infrastructure and you have the right environment. And finally, maintenance is the how do there are technological and technical people, as I have said, you need to maintain things. You require money. Even at 11:40, students are coming. Vignesh Kumar, since it's a Saturday, but it's regular working day. Vignesh, my flow gets thing. Vignesh, okay. So with this, your unit 3 is over. So because of CAT exams, I removed the 1, 2, and 3 units from the GCR. I'll upload it later, right? Uh, I'm starting off with the 4th unit. Has other subjects started off the 4th unit? Did they?
Yes, ma'am. Some of them, like HCCP, we will start next time. Next week, we finished with the three and had some general discussion today.
Okay, so I'm going on the right track, I believe. Unit 3.
Yes, ma'am. We are comfortable. Yes.
Yes, thank you. So, what do you mean by performance appraisal generally? What is the idea you students have in mind when you hear the word performance appraisal? Tell me. Mahalakshmi, have you people started to look out for internships? Your internship starts in June. Have you? Look out for good companies. Okay, now coming back.
We are searching, but due to
Hmm.
COVID, they are not giving internships.
No, find out for online or internshala. Okay, we'll discuss this later. Okay, Nehal.
But for logistic and supply chain
Nehal, I
online
said
is
we'll
not
discuss
available, ma'am.
later. We'll discuss later. You should
Okay, ma'am.
understand. Okay, right. Okay, tell me, which are the companies that offer really very good performance management, performance appraisal to their employees? Can you? Can anybody tell me which organization or provides very good performance appraisal systems? They always have monetary basis provided, non-monetary basis provided, like decision making. Only they give money, appraisals, send their employees abroad. Okay, provide them vacations, right? Abroad vacations, right? It's good to hear, no? All these. Can you tell me which organization provides? At present, we cannot move because we are in the red list now. So nowhere we can move. But still, I never get answers. Saturday, you people are sleeping except Harihar sir, Nihal. Only a few answers. Why there is? I only have to call her. Why you people will not voluntarily come? Vasu, Jaswin, Joy, V. Vignesh, Mohammed Samir, Mahalakshmi. I've been calling her name for the third time. Right. So let me straightly get into the concept, right? So performance appraisal is the word performance, right? We know that employees have to work and they are responsible for the work. They are responsible. They are accountable, right? They are responsible. They are accountable for the various job for the various roles, and they are answerable to the higher ups. for the roles and responsibilities that has been entrusted to them, right? For their work task, whatever is the job, for what job they have been recruited, they are answerable for what purpose they were selected, right? And it happens on yearly basis, or according to the policies of the companies, it happens 6 months once. Okay. We have seen yesterday's news. Yesterday evening, they posted this particular organization called Wipro. Right? They say that Wipro have been having performance appraisal only once a year, but now they say that twice a year they'll be having, and 6 months once they'll be having salary hike. It seems, right? Of course. So this was yesterday's news, which I was just reading, right? So what you mean by actually by performance appraisal? So performance appraisal means you are evaluating an employee's current or past performance, relative to his performance standards. They are evaluating. They will actually look out to the benchmarks. Now, this particular definition I'm reading out from the Gary Dassler book. Right. Other than that, whatever you're able to view on the slide, also there are always standards. Right. We call those performance standards as benchmark standards that are already there set in the industry, or already the organization have achieved it. Okay. So they have to. The organization is able to achieve it. It means that the employees are able to. They need to work towards those standards, right? Because we know that the external world keeps on changing, right? And there is a lot of competition during this particular competitive period. If the organizations never works, then they may not be able to work. They may not be able to achieve the standards. So what happened automatically? The organization gets they lose their ranking position. People may not be quite interested. Or applicants may not be quite interested to join the organization. There are a lot of dimensions that are related to performance appraisal. So when you see to that, the performance appraisal involves two important things. One is that setting up the work standards. Second one is assessing the employee's actual performance relative to those of standards. And third one is providing feedback to the employee, right, with the aim of motivating him or her to eliminate the performance deficiency. So we need to keep three important things in mind. What are they? So I'll just say open another slide and list out what are they. Right. So you need to setting up of work standards. Okay. So this is the first thing in the performance appraisal. This is the first criteria in the performance appraisal. Second one is assessing the employing. It's nothing but you are comparing the performance of the employee, right? And performance of employee with the benchmark standards. Now, yeah. Now, it is important that priorly, before you assess the employee at the end of the year, it is important that the managers or the superiors provide sufficient instructions how the work needs to be carried out. Okay, so without these, just like that, giving the work to be carried out, or just like that, giving the work to be done without any instructions or without prior knowledge or without prior awareness to the employees, I think it is not a good justice done by the organization or its superiors. Right. So before you see to that, these things I have not discussed actually, but as I prepare certain things, or once we see the survey and all, they say that I've heard people, my boss never just dumps the work to me, but never gives any sort of never gives any sort of things, any sort of instructions how to go about. I Google it from the net and just I do the work, and wherever and whenever the corrections need to be done, it would be done. That's all, right? So it is important that if you are comparing the performance standards, you need to know priorly what is said to be the benchmark standard, and awareness need to be given to the employees. Am I right? Am I right? This I have seen from a survey. from a particular study I've got this viewpoint, right?
There are various, I would say, viewpoints on this, ma'am. Like in
Huh,
the armed forces, not only Indian Army but all over the world, there
huh.
is something called as mission type orders or directive style of command, wherein the crux of that is tell people what to do and not how to do it.
Okay,
That aims to harness the initiative and the talents of everybody, so that you get a, synchronized and you can leverage the collective capability in a better manner. So,
okay.
but then you have to have that kind of a mindset, because there will be errors, there will be problems. So the organization hierarchy has to be strong enough to shoulder that kind of errors. The error tolerance has to be high. But in the
Fantastic.
long run, this creates a situation wherein, because if you look at what happens in battle, there will be no one to actually guide you. No one will be standing on your head. The communications will be out. You may be operating in a team of say 10 people, and it is just those 10 people who have to take decision and act. There won't be anything forthcoming. Your plan would have gone for a 6. So how do you decide at that point in time? So to promote that kind of a thinking and activity, but it needs a total inside out kind of a change in the mindset first. Otherwise it'll fail very badly.
Okay, agreed, sir. Yeah, fantastic. It's a very good viewpoint that you have shared, sir. Sir, on the other hand, this would the initiatives, new initiatives, the army is said to be really they want to bring out. Secondly, I am able to observe certain things that one of the thing what in the above point what sir has told is that the best things that comes out from the initiative that we errors, right, it has to be acceptable, fine, but if it is really successful, that would turn as a best practice in the organization, right? Am I right, sir?
Absolutely, ma'am, absolutely.
Yeah. So that would be one of the best practices which can the organization, and they could promote or advertise, and they could brand build. They can have competitive advantage. So many advantages they'll be having with that, right? Yeah.
Ma'am, what
So
happens is you recruit, every organization tries to recruit the best talent that they can afford.
hmm,
And having done that, they never fully utilize that talent. They
yeah,
never do that, because you
yeah,
kind of, you have the best racehorse, and you don't let it run free. You put a harness on it, you put blinders on it. There is a rider
hmm,
telling which way to go. So you will never let the horse develop its full potential. It is that kind of a thing. So this is something which this technique or this process tries to do away with. You
yeah.
you you get the best guys, and then let them do what they do best without tying them down. But it has plus and minuses, because control is always required. Only the method of exercising control in this manner, it becomes the mission. Like you tell the final objective, but don't tell the pathway to be taken. Let the people do it in the best manner that they can think of. So that way you get the best of both worlds.
Agreed, sir. Yes. Now, what is the another two disadvantages that we get? See, as Indian Army is doing, I do not know whether the organizations allow it, because these best practices are said to be a part of organizational culture, right? So they say that my organization has this culture. These are the way that we are trying to do it, right? As he said, it is the mindset, so they try to curb or they try to cut in the beginning itself. Do what I say, right? So those kinds of practice, those kinds of disadvantages are also tend to arise, right? So my organization follows this only. See to that your work or your methodology or practice fits into the culture of the organization, right? So that people do it. So we are very complex. No, people tend to do it, right? And if anything they are coming out with anything newly, they will put like a basketball, they will just shut it on their head and they will ask to sit down, right? So that those things the organization has to be very very clear, has to be very very clear enough when they give such kinds of work to people, how they are going to take it up, right? So here what they are doing is that when you are defining the employees' work goals and work standards, you see to that you set some things called as smart goals. That's what the that the definition, or that is the standards in HR the organizations are telling them to do. So what would be, what is said to be the full form of SMART is that it is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and on time, right? Time management. So all these we have seen time management. So you can relate SMART goals with that of time management to score more marks. Okay. So what do they do is that assign your specific goals. So what do employees who have specific goals, they'll be able to perform better. Give lot of targets to people, right? So that's what they say. Give lots of target to people. Yeah. And see to that, assign, when you assign these specific goals, see to that these goals are said to be measurable. As sir was telling at the beginning, no, you should have metrics, right? You should be able to derive numbers out of it, right? And see to that you have your deadlines, you have your targets, right? And see to that these goals are very, very challenging, right? And doable goals, they say. What do you mean by doable? Practically, they need to implement these goals and encourage participation, right? So that's what, before these smart goals was said to be spoken, or once it was discussed, before that itself these particular points was said to be shared by sir and others also, right? So see to that, right? And have proper techniques, right? Have proper techniques when you are going for an appraisal. You should be fully geared. See, priorly in traditional organizations, when you take Ashok Leland or when you take Godrej, priorly and all, there was no much and all. Scientific management rule, thumb rule is that you are supposed to manufacture 10 per hour, you need to produce 10 products. So if there is working hours, 7 hours, including break, you are supposed your target will be say 100, right? So it means that you have to work very hard. It would be 70, say the a little bit higher production the organization will set, right? And say manufacture 90 products, right? So in such a case, based on that hourly basis, weekly basis only, on hourly basis only, the payment system was said to be done, which was said to be the thumb rule, which we call it as a scientific management. But as the years passed, a lot of methodologies, a lot of things, the Factories Act, where the employees welfare programs, all these things started, and a lot of amendments were also happening in the bill. And they introduced a lot of reforms called as HR reforms, and there are also act which takes care of the employees. Okay, and they say that there is a differentiation between workers and employees, between salary and wages, right? And all these things, they have a lot of things they have brought into. So when you look into these concepts, see to that, because nowadays they will question, the employees will question on what basis you have been given, you are giving this, what is it? You are giving A grade to me or B grade. If they get at the highest, okay, no questions will come. They are given C grade even after performing. Why is it? The records have been produced, right? There are, and because of that, even the problem of attrition also arises, right? So a lot of things or a lot of issues are actually related to it. So, in next class, so today's class, we have been looking into HRIS, implementation of HRIS, and outplacement and its benefit services, and an introduction to performance appraisal, and what are the concepts, a little bit, three important concepts we have been looking into. In coming classes, we will be going in detail who are said to be responsible for appraisal, who can be an appraiser, okay? So what is their role, right? All those things we will be discussing about it.